But one of the most popular aspects of the current regime is the MAHA movement, the Make America Healthy Again, a journey I continue to fail at, but continue to get back on the horse, back on it this week, working out again. Sore, very, very sore today, realizing just how little I've been moving around over the last 3 months. But Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts are in big, big trouble after some new data came out, and RFK Jr. is not too happy with them. It is bonkers, and we're going to get into this story after a super quick word from this video sponsor, Aura. How does it make you feel that data brokers are making billions of dollars selling your personal information without your consent and destroying privacy in the process? And that they make no effort at all to stop scammers, spammers, and stalkers from buying it. It's absolutely insane. That's why I've been using this video sponsor, Aura, for a very long time. Aura takes care of the hard part, automatically removing your information from these sites. It protects your privacy by identifying data brokers who are selling your information. There are a lot of services that offer this too, but none of them offer as many features as Aura does for the same price. Get alerts if your personal information is found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking, 24/7 monitoring to help keep your identity secure, the secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and more. US-based support available around the clock if something goes wrong, and if anything does happen, Aura has included a $5 million identity theft insurance protection, and they have US fraud-based experts ready 24/7. Try Aura free for 14 days at aura.com/thequartering. In those 2 weeks, Aura will get to work scrubbing your personal information off these data broker websites. I haven't left myself vulnerable, and you shouldn't either. Check the link in the description below for the link as well. Now, RFK has declared war on Dunkin' and Starbucks. Here's how much sugar their drinks really have. Now, I have, I don't think it's any surprise that these super mocha joka bullspit drinks, they're not great for you. They're not healthy for you. I mean, I don't think anybody is shocked to hear that, but the numbers are actually bonkers. RFK Jr. has declared war on Dunkin' and Starbucks. Here's how much sugar their drinks really have. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy has taken aim at Starbucks and Dunkin' over sugar-loaded coffee drinks. But how much sugar do they actually have? During an Eat Real Food rally in Austin, Texas on February 26th, and by the way, I think Kennedy, it's out that he's going to run for president in 2028. I think that's great. Good for him. I wish he'd stay and keep making America healthy, but maybe he can get everything in place before then. I don't know. Kennedy referenced plans to challenge the two brands on the amount of sugar their iced coffee drinks will contain. We're going to ask Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks to show us the safety data that it's okay for a teenage kid to drink an iced coffee with 115 grams of sugar in it. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Publicly available nutrition information shows that sugar totals vary widely depending on the drink and size ordered. Now, certainly you can go to Starbucks and just get a black coffee. Or if you just get a mocha, or a latte or something like that, that's probably gonna have some sugar and fat in it, but it's not gonna be as bad as some of this other stuff. A grande, which is the smallest size, I think, caramel Starbucks Frappuccino has 55 grams of sugar. The Starbucks website notes that the grande Starbucks Frappuccino can have more than 45 grams of total sugar per drink, and that's not counting whipped cream and syrups. So it's basically, it's very deceptive in its health. I mean, I remember the girls at the office would always be whining about having to go to the gym, and I'd see them walk in with a giant iced coffee that I'm like, you probably wouldn't have to go to the gym if you just drank your coffee, just regular iced coffee. But I'm not stupid. I don't want bad things to happen to me, so I never said that to those women. Dunkin' frozen coffees appear to have substantially more than sugar than even Starbucks. A medium caramel cream frozen coffee has 132 grams of sugar, according to Dunkin' menus. A frozen coffee with cream is 81 grams of sugar. That's like 4 sodas. A high number considering its lack of any added syrups. On Fox and Friends First on Friday, family and emergency physician Dr. Jeanette Niswat, I can't even pronounce that, said that there was truth to Kennedy's concerns. When you think about it, 100 grams of sugar, that's equivalent to 25 teaspoons of sugar, she said. Think of 25 of those little cubes of sugar you're putting in your drink. And really, Many teenagers have no awareness of how much sugar they're actually consuming. That's why education is so important. I think I have a little bit of that clip to share with you.
RFK Jr. calling out Starbucks and Dunkin' over its iced coffee drinks.
We're going to ask Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, show us the safety data that show that it's okay for a teenage girl to drink an iced coffee with 115 grams of sugar in it. I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Family and emergency medicine doctor Jeanette Nashwat joins
Here
me
it is.
now.
Nashwat.
Doctor, thanks for coming on with us. You know, I completely agree with him on this. They're very unhealthy, certain ones that you order. So I personally think this is a step in the right direction, but what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, Ashley. I mean, when you think about it, 100 grams of sugar, that's equivalent to about 25 teaspoons of sugar. Think of 25 of those little cubes of sugar that you are putting in your drink. And really, many teenagers aren't aware of how much sugar they are consuming. And that's why education is so important. The problem is the extra added excess sugar. We don't want to have more than 10% of our caloric intake to be from sugar foods or sugary drinks. It's so harmful for your metabolism and increases your risk of chronic disease. We see it lead to weight gain. We see it lead to obesity, diabetes, heart disease. And
yeah, I mean, this is why, you know, at 42, probably 20 years too late, I'm trying to be a little bit more careful about the sugar. You know, my wife had bought me a bunch of like bubbler energy drinks. I'm switching over to V8, it's just tea, like tea drinks. That don't have the sugar and don't have all the crazy extra stuff. And, you know, I've got a lot of weight to lose, and a lot of mine is from sugar. But, you know, of all the things, it is not from crazy iced coffee drinks.
now we're seeing a lot of young patients with what we call non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And fatty liver. Let's not forget about the cavities that all the sugar can cause.
So young kids are getting fatty livers from Starbucks.
Yeah, I mean, and apparently young kids, I'm talking like 8 and 9 years old, are drinking these drinks. And when you look at the sugar content in it, it's like, wow, you're not supposed to have that much in a week. And they're getting it in one dose and one drink. You know, a lot of people online are not happy about this. They take their coffee very seriously. They take these drinks very seriously. So how can the administration and RFK Jr. in particular combat that and in a roundabout way?
Education.
Say, hey, like, this is about our health. This is about the future of our health and the future of our kids.
Yeah, I mean, this is not about banning coffee. This is about teaching our youth, teaching teenagers about making healthy habits and healthy choices.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're okay with your kid drinking this stuff, like, I think that's not great parenting. But at least, like, get the information in the. I mean, look, there are warning labels on cigarettes. Would it be so crazy to say that, you know, any drink that has more than 100 grams of sugar, there should be a warning label on it? Is it that crazy? I don't think so. I think that, you know, it's really not that wild.
That will impact them in the long term so that we can reduce the number of chronic diseases that we're seeing in this country right now. I'm talking about diabetes, cancers that we see on the rise, you know, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, those sorts of metabolic diseases. It's no surprise that nearly 40% of children, of adolescents, are either obese or overweight. So
40% of all teens are overweight. That is shocking and scary. 40%? When I was a teenager, like, there was like, I went to one of the biggest high schools in the state, and there was probably like 5 fat kids there. Maybe 10. Like, in my graduating class of hundreds and hundreds of students, I can really, if I really think back, there were very few people that were obese. There might have been 2 in our whole school. And I went to a large school. Like, it just was not a thing.
So it's important that we engage in education, that we're aware of what we have, what we're consuming, what we're putting in our bodies, and how it can impact us long term. And then, Ashley, it's not just about the sugar. You combine this with the excessive levels of caffeine. I mean, I've had young patients come into the ER telling me that they have pounding sensations in their chest because of the combination of the stimulants, of the caffeine, of the sugar. They feel like they're having a panic attack. So it really is a serious health problem that really needs to to be tackled. And it begins with making better choices, having healthier alternatives, and knowing about nutrition and what you're putting in your body overall.
Yeah, I mean, I just say education. 115 grams of sugar. I think, like, let me look it up quick. I feel like, how much sugar can of Coke? Well, there's 39. That's more than I thought. But this one coffee drink is like drinking 3 12-ounce Coca-Colas. 3 12-ounce Coca-Colas in one iced coffee. That's not even taking into account the sugar and other problems with it. And I think that this is going to be bad news for Starbucks and Dunkin' because people are going to start to get healthy again. People are wanting to get healthy again. I'm wanting to get healthy again. It's not just soda. Nutritionists weigh in on the absolute worst drink for your health. Energy drinks and pre-workout drinks. Well, I think if you're going to pre-workout, you're not worried about it. Sweet alcoholic cocktails, traditional soda, iced tea. Really? Iced tea? Oh, well, that's sweetened tea, though. Drinks are sweetened in agave nectar. Juice cocktails, always lots of sugar. Frappuccinos. Frozen lattes. That's what we talked about. 120, 140 grams of sugar. I think that these places better start reconsidering their business model and figure out a way to get people to enjoy coffee without all that extra sugar. Well, you could try going to cbcamazon.com, Charlie Bravo Charlie, cbcamazon.com, and get delicious whole bean, K-Cup, and ground coffee that you don't need to add sugar to for a delicious taste. And tastes great as a iced coffee or as a regular coffee. So you can try that out. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.